Arizona from the 20-yard line.
You're listening to the Casual Sports Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20. Larry Fitzgerald is insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bird Gang.
And welcome into another edition of the Casual Sports Show, Bird Gang. I am your host, Earl Burnett. The man on the other side in the other box that you can see right there is Sean McConnell.
What's up?
We do this for y'all every Monday night, and we love doing it. Recapping the Cardinal game on Sunday and any other sports that is going on in the Arizona area. You know the hot suns are going down, and we got to give y'all all of what's going on in the valley. If you want to be a part of the show, you know what to do. It's not going anywhere. It's just growing by leaps and bounds. All four of our social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course our YouTube page. Go ahead and hit us up with some comments. You want to be part of the show, hit us up. We'll look on the Facebook page and get your comments as well. And also, you want to hit us up on our website at www.ksrnaz.com. That is the web address where you can also download the mobile apps, iOS and Android, for the station, and you get the live broadcast and of all the wonderful shows that are on the broadcast at your beckoning call, right in your hands on your mobile device. So don't forget to do that, Bird Gang. Go ahead and go to ksrnaz.com to download those. So we come in from another game, another loss. What is that, 2 in a row now? After a 3-game winning streak, now we're on a 2-game losing streak. And, man, this one was tough to swallow. Right? I'm pretty sure you kind of got some vent and you might be holding back. No, first of all, did you get calm first?
Am I calm? You want to know if I'm calm?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
I am not calm, Earl. I am not calm. That is a 3-game win streak after 3 wins, Earl. 3-game win streak. Three.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
3-game losing streak, Earl. That was rough to watch.
Yeah, that was really rough to watch. Where do you even start? But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna switch this up tonight. Let's go somewhere else first. Knock out the small things and some good news first, and then we'll jump on that Cardinal stuff after the fact. Let's jump on the Suns real quick.
Oh, I got something for the Suns. You want to do the Suns?
No. Wait a minute. Let's jump on the ASU game for a quick moment. They come into they're coming off another bye week slow. I mean, always, I don't know what it is about these 29 freshmen that are playing coming off the bye week, but they just don't know how to get that focus going. And I posed a question in the presser and didn't get quite the answer I was looking for, but I posed a question, and that was, sometimes when those young kids don't get a kick in the butt from a coach, they tend to kind of not know, where to look to get, inspiration, to get that motivation to get up and play a game sometimes. Those young 29 freshmen that we're playing. And Herm is not the type of guy that'll kick you in the butt. So what is the thin line between kicking them in the butt and continuing to be that, okay, don't worry, they're just freshmen, I'm not mad at them type of attitude that Herm always comes with?
I know the line. I know the line right here. I got it right here for you.
Hello? You play to win the game.
I told you I got everything queued up today. No, we need that kind of Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. Quarterback, starting quarterback, or no starting quarterback. You play to win the game.
Right.
College teams have the luxury of being a little bit deeper in the quarterback section than NFL teams do. And you got to play to win the game. They were in the game, but they didn't win the game.
They let the team jump out. I mean,
28-7.
28. I mean, come on. I mean, it was really one of those games that I thought was going to be history made, to where I thought USC were going to have like 200 yards per quarter. And it was going to be one of those 800 to almost 1,000 in one game. It just looked like that. We had no way of stopping them. The kid's name, Slovis.
Yeah, 432 yards. Only 10 incompletions.
But that wasn't the big part. The big part was he had 297 of it in the first quarter and 4 touchdowns in the first quarter. It's like how do you let a team come out and do that to you in the first quarter of a game? 300 yards. That almost looked like the Cardinal defense at the end of the game.
Well, you know what? It might be. I mean, Vance Joseph might be looking for a new job, so he could just scoot on over to Tempe.
I don't know about that, man. You know, if they ain't said nothing about that, he's not even on the hot seat yet.
He's not on ASU's radar either.
Exactly. But it didn't hurt that we were playing another freshman quarterback that had never seen the field, and he came out there and did a pretty good job and settled down and started to make some plays for them. But that was just brutal, man. They ended up losing it 31-26, and the key thing in that game was just drop balls, which is going to be part of what's going on in the next game. But drop balls, they dropped the 2-point conversion, Darby, that would have had them going for the field goal at the end to tie at least, but a drop ball. And then, of course, the tight end was wide open down the middle. They could have I think he was going to score on that play, and he drops the ball. So they had their opportunities.
Yep.
Real quick, Suns, man. This is the bright news of the Valley that we were not expecting, of course, this season. And this team is definitely for real. I mean, this team, I'm looking at them, it feels like I'm waiting for that letdown. But
Thursday was a bit of a letdown against the Heat. That was a bit of a letdown. That was that was Jimmy Butler going off, but
I don't even look at that as a letdown. I look at that as just the flow of what basketball does. 82 freaking games. You're not going to play the same every freaking night. But to get up off the mat and come right back and end that and, cut it off at that canker. No, we're not going to let this grow. It was exciting to see that, because last year that would not have happened.
I will say
we'd be on a 7 or 8 game losing streak by now.
I will say, though, if we do face more teams that have heavy guard play like Miami with Butler and Dragic, we could be in for some trouble, because Booker and Rubio are good defensively, but against those two guys, they were not. 34 points to Butler and 25 to Goran. That could be a trend that we need to look out in this long, long season. Going to have some more help defense, maybe Bridges playing at the 2, things like that. But overall, the Suns are exceeding expectations by a long shot, so far to even probably shed this EJ, Chuck, and Shaq classic.
How's the hot dogs, Chuck? Hey, the hot dog, they got that hard bun. What about the pretzels, Chuck? The pretzels are hard as a rock. He can take a dentist. And what about the nachos? Oh, my God, the cheese is cold.
The cheese is cold. The cheese is cold.
Chuck, man, but he came out too. It's like, even my sons are going to be better this year and good this year. So he came out and said it.
Hey, he recognizes it.
Yeah, everybody does. We got some firepower. What I love about it, though, is like you just got through saying, it was guards that we're going to play against. But if Rubio can do what he did against freaking Kyrie Irving, defensively, he's a long and big guard. Those guys have trouble with those type of defensive players that are not afraid to get up in your face and not afraid to get. I mean, Kyrie dribbles like crazy.
Right.
So all you got to do is pretty much watch his hips, because all he's going to do is dribble, and at some point he's going to make a move.
Just keep forcing the baseline. Just
stood there and just kind of watched his hips and then ripped him right there on the dang sideline. It was like, wow, how did he do that?
This team will go as far as his health, in my opinion. Exactly. Because what he's being able to do for Booker and taking the load off of Booker as far as distributing goes is doing wonders. Booker's field goal percentages, 3-point percentages are all through the roof, because he doesn't have to hold onto the ball anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a collective sharing of the ball. I mean, they had 37 assists yesterday.
Yeah.
Last 37 assists and only 7 turnovers.
It's incredible.
That is, I mean, what's more incredible is that you get that type of stat from a team that just got assembled.
Yeah.
You would think that would happen late season, the 60th game of the season. But for the 9th game of the season, they come out with 37 assists and only 7 turnovers. I mean, that I don't know if that's pointing to more towards Brooklyn's effort, or did we just punch them in the mouth and they quit, or what? But who cares?
Well, I mean, they had a little bit of a pushback and kind of came back a little bit. But, yeah, this is definitely – Monty has this team gelling early, and it's showing.
Exactly.
Whereas next season, the expectations are going to explode.
I tried to get a guest in here tonight. Not Kent Summers. Kent's going to come next week. But I was trying. I'm from, and I know Jay, you probably listening to this. I know you from LA, so I know you know the man down there, Jim Hill. I was trying to get him in to get some Laker perspective because that's who's coming in the house next. And I wanted to see if Jim would come in and give us some Laker perspective, but he got really busy and couldn't make it tonight. But that's the next opponent, man.
Hey, Jay, you're tuning in. We all got to get together for that game.
Yeah, we should, man. That would be pretty awesome. That'd be pretty awesome. But let's go ahead and take our quick break here, and we'll get back and get into that debacle. That was it the referees? Was it just the same old Cardinal defense? Was it our defensive coordinator? I mean, we'll get back and talk about what went wrong down there in Florida against BA and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. www.ksrnaz.com, Bird Gang. Go there and download the apps, Android, and of course iOS. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
MPX, a neighborhood joint located at 4717 East Bell Road, is not just another restaurant. It's a community partner and gathering point. At MPX, everything is made from scratch. The menu is a creative spin on traditional American classics. Every item on the menu has a story behind it. From Ashley's Biscuit Chili, Ray's Short Ribs, to the PB&J French Toast, there's a new favorite waiting for you. In addition to being the ideal neighborhood joint, MPX is committed to uplifting the community, partnering with local schools, hosting benefits, and give back. If you're looking to schedule an event, MPX, a neighborhood joint, is the perfect location to come together. And while you're there, be sure to check out the 195-inch TV. For more information, call MPX at 602-788-7134. Visit www.mpx.life. Follow us on Twitter at MPXLife. Like us on Facebook or stop in. Again, we're located at 4717 East Bell Road in Phoenix. MPX, the official neighborhood joint of the Easy Sports Talk Show. Be sure to tell a friendly and courteous staff Ed and Jim sent you.
Hey, Arizona, this is Earl Burnett, the Casual Sports Show. I want to invite you to the hottest sports bar in the valley. Experience the lodge mentality of Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is so much more than your typical sports bar. This lounge welcomes every guest with the World Series walk-offs and barrel-aged whiskey. The second you walk inside, you're surrounded by a lodge full of friendly and attentive Twin Peak girls serving it up from scratch. Only here can you truly embrace the lodge mentality. Twin Peaks. Nothing sets us apart more than our signature 29 draft beers, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce man-sized mugs. Our rotating selection of fan favorites and in-house brews are the guests' trusted companion in victory or defeat. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
This is Larry Fitzgerald. You listen to the exclusive voice of the Bird Gang, Casual Sports.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back into the Casual House Bird Gang. Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell.
Yeah.
It's about that time again. We got to relive what we saw yesterday. So I want to do, I want to go through this game. And, there's always a key theme to every game. And if you got to put one word or a theme to this game, what word would that be?
I have one word. It's just repeated a lot.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's my word. My word is no. My word is no.
It's sick, man.
This game did not. Earl, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the
man.
game, right? This is what I sound like in the fourth quarter.
You are crazy, dude.
I'm losing my mind.
They flip Sean out, everybody. So
I'm thinking to myself,
Oh, no! We suck again!
oh my goodness.
I'm losing it, Earl. I'm losing it.
I get it. But we got to relive it anyway, man. So let's go through the highlights, man, and do what we normally do. So when this game gets off to a start, of course, this team, we love to start good, and then we just allow other teams or allow the opposing team to just pretty much, have their way after we do something good, something positive. This time it was the defense that started out pretty good. And, we got the pick by Byron Murphy.
First pick of the season looked good.
Yeah, check it out.
About him, third down. And it's intercepted. And, of course, that's been the bugaboo for Jameis Winston his entire career.
So you get that game to start. You get Jameis Winston doing what Jameis Winston does, and you can't take advantage of what Jameis Winston does. That right there alone to me started to let me know we were in trouble if we can't get that guy to keep giving us the ball. And so you get the pick, you get good positioning to jump right on this team, and Kyler comes out throwing the ball high. This is the second game in a row I've seen is that he's I don't know if it's nerves or is it he can't see over the front line or what, but he comes out throwing the ball high.
There was definitely pressure. And it's hard because we had to settle for the field goal early, and it seems like we're stalling. We're not really stalling. It's a fake stall in a sense. We are having trouble because of the pressure. And that's not necessarily that we're not making plays. It's just that maybe the ball is sailed and it's an incomplete. They're good plays. The player is open, i.e. Max Williams, things of that nature. And the defense then starts to allow Jameis to be good Jameis, as we talk about on the neutral zone. We got good Jameis and bad Jameis. And you start with one drive being bad Jameis, and the rest of it's pretty much good Jameis from there on out.
Right. And he did a good job. I thought he did a whole lot better than I thought he would. But it kind of helped that we kind of allowed him to be good Jameis in this one. But, of course, when we do something like score, no matter if it's a field goal or a touchdown, the defense just never stands to let us keep that momentum. And they let the Buccaneers drive right back down the field with your favorite play, the screenplay. 3 straight screenplays on third down and long. They let Ronald Jones bust through, and then he finally gets down to the goal line, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take the lead.
11th play in this drive, they're going to run it. And finding the end zone is Ronald Jones, and the Buccaneers have taken the lead.
What is up with our defense, man? We cannot get stops.
Garbage.
Garbage, man.
Oh, that's good.
We got a lot of players that on defense that care about what their name is on the back of their jersey. And you know what I have to say to that?
You gotta be right about that. That's for sure.
It doesn't matter what your name is on the back of the jersey. It matters the name on the front of the jersey, and you're not playing good defense.
Yeah. Well, one person that is playing very well for the Cardinals is Zane Gonzalez. We got stopped on third down, and they kind of had to go ahead and try to get this long field goal instead of punting. And Zane just steps up and nails it, man. He just doing what he does.
Officially, and he drilled it. Goodness gracious.
He drilled that kick 54 yards, and the Cards are just down by 1 point, 7-6. Oh, my goodness. Now, here is where I just get really bent out of shape, and I'm pretty sure you got some more soundbite over there for something that's coming up.
In the chamber, yeah.
Before the half, 2-minute drill, Cardinals go down, and they get it down to the 33-yard line, and, of course, our man, Christian Kirk, shows up.
In here, but look at this. It is Christian Kirk into the end zone. And that'll be his first touchdown of this season. We wondered why he'd been so quiet coming all the way back from that ankle injury.
Christian Kirk returns from an ankle injury for the second week in a row and finally gets on the board for his first touchdown. And did he get on the board after that? He just pretty much took over the game. They couldn't guard him out there.
He took the board. He took the scoreboard. He said, "This is my board now."
Exactly. But here's where we get bent out of shape. You got 1:05 left. You took the lead going into halftime. You get the ball back in your hands coming out of the halftime. If you get a stop here, you have seized control of the game. But, of course, our defense does what our defense does, and a series of plays, they let Jameis look like Russell Wilson.
All day to throw it. And coming back to get it is Evans. And he's up across the 40. With the final 23 seconds of this opening half and a crossing pattern. Ogunbowale out of the backfield. And the blitz coming by the Cardinals. It's picked up well. And that's a dangerous throw, but it's caught by Howard inside the 10. And it's down. And now Winston looking and turning around, left all alone is Howard for the touchdown. Serious confusion in that Cardinals secondary. I mean, Howard wide open.
Oh, he couldn't have said it no better than that.
Oh, well, there's a little bit better.
Howard is wide open and series of confusion as usual. Man. What do you do about this defense, man? It's 10 weeks into the season, and we're still confused on what we're doing on defense. What does that point to?
I know what it points to. It points to a man's job.
You've been riding that for a while. I think you're on to something because that's a lack of focus, man. It's like 10 weeks into the season, you haven't figured out what we're doing. That says a lot.
I'm going to put up a poll on the Facebook page, but we can get into this a little bit later once we're done breaking down the film. But it's going to be who has to go, and I got 3 names on there. Who has to go? David Johnson, Patrick Peterson, or Vance Joseph. Who's got to go? So you and I can talk about that later when we're done with the rest of the film, but everyone on Facebook can go ahead and put their votes in now.
Okay, third quarter comes out. Cardinals driving down and do a great job getting back the momentum, but yet they get down to the 22-yard line, and Cliff does the gambling thing again and goes for it on fourth down to keep the momentum. And of course, we're just snake bitten, man, for some reason.
Bernard closer inside the 25, fourth down. They play fake it and wide open and dropping the wide open pass is Max Williams. Oh my goodness!
He drops a touchdown pass. That was a touchdown, dude.
That was a touchdown.
5-yard line. He would have walked in. Fourth down.
Max.
Good play call.
Max
has got good hands,
You either die a hero
too.
or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Max, don't become the villain, Max.
Oh, man, that was something else. The sun was in his eyes. Caught him off guard. Bucks get a field goal out of that after that and lead this game 20-13. And then Kyler and him said, look, we're not putting up with this. Christian, they cannot stay with you, dude.
The entire year. And this one will sneak inside the right upright.
That was the field goal.
Get Kyler into his rhythm.
Down the sideline, and it is Christian Kirk with another big one in his second touchdown of the afternoon. He ran right by Ryan Smith. A 69-yard touchdown strike.
Woo. Man. And he looks unstoppable, man. I mean, you talk about everybody's waiting for Andy Isabella to be our threat downfield. This is our threat downfield so far. Although Andy is starting to come on a little bit more.
I think I know what Christian Kirk's secret is.
And that's what I call high quality H2O.
He's drinking that high quality H2O, man. No, Christian's been a baller from game one, and honestly, I love what Kyler and Christian are doing together. It's a perfect match, and the chemistry is great.
I love it too, man. As you said, I couldn't have said that better. And let's hope that can keep going, because if that can keep going, now you got defensive coordinators having the game plan to stop that guy, and then now you got other things that can open up. But okay, so after that, the score is Cardinals. Where did I leave off? We're 20-20 right there after that big bomb, 69 yards to Christian Kirk.
Yep.
And it looks like the teams were going to go back and forth, and we got some stops. Both teams had stops here and there in this third quarter until Jameis, you forced Jameis to be Jameis.
Throws into traffic, a tip ball, and it's intercepted. I believe that's Jordan Hicks who has the football, and it is. Second interception thrown by Winston.
Okay, now that's a momentum changer right there. You get
Absolutely.
the pick. You got the ball right where you in the scoring territory on the 20-something yard line in the red zone, and you can really seize this game right now. What do you think took place after that?
Nothing special.
Our so-called superstar, who's supposed to go ahead and snatch back the momentum and go ahead and take over this game, well, you know what happened after that.
On the turnovers.
Johnson down to the 10-yard line. Did that ball get ripped away from Johnson? Or are they saying he's down? That's Levante David at the bottom of that pile.
After review, it was a catch. However, the runner fumbled and was recovered by the defense.
How do you let a guy just snatch the ball out of your hands, and you're supposed to be a star running back?
Let me tell you this. David equated for what? 10 total yards of offense and a fumble that led to 3 points to the other team. You know what, David?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
David, come on. And you got benched after that.
Yeah, and you know what? I love Cliff Kingsbury's approach to that as well. We'll talk about that too. But the Bucks added a field goal after that. They ended up with a 23-20 lead. And so we got it back down in score range again. And, man, Kirk just kept going.
TBU's this game.
And a fake punt. And now they're going to throw it. And down the sideline, it is caught, and they execute. And there's a penalty flag that comes in. All right, second down for Murray. Slings it across the middle. It's tipped into the hands of Kirk, who did not have a touchdown the entire year, and he has 3 of them in a game today.
3 touchdowns for Christian Kirk. Ooh. That's coming off a nice momentum when Cliff Kingsbury, of course, went for the 4th down there. That was a pretty cool executed play, but got lucky on the catch. I thought the guy that they got the ball to where he pitched it to, I thought he was going to go running down the sideline. But it was a pretty well-designed play and a good gutsy call for Cliff in that aspect too. So I like that, the gutsy calls that he continues to do. I think we're like top of the league and going for it on 4th down and making it.
Well, you know why that is. Because we're towards the no, I don't got. I have a soundbite, but not. Okay. Because we're towards the bottom in 3rd down. That's the problem. We can't do it on 3rd down, so we have to go for it on 4th down, and we can't give the ball back with our defense having to do it. True. But that play call Cliff had to be like this.
What the hell was that?
If you smell what the Rock is cooking, baby.
What the hell was that?
That's the Rock, man. Come on.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear it. My bad. Okay, so now we got a 27-23 lead, man. And, of course, that should be able to pretty much put us in position to win the game. But both teams are starting to fight after this as to who was going to get this game. And they said they were trying to give the game away. Both teams were trying to give the game away versus the Bucks.
Second down and 10. And Jones got a couple of good blocks and dropped the ball. And a scramble for the football. And we wait and see. It looked like Buda Baker had a beat on it. And it is Arizona football.
Okay, so you get the turnover right there. I'm thinking, let's go ahead and knock out punch, game over, right? But we just gave it right back to him.
10 and walked it into the air. A sloppy throw by Murray, and it's intercepted by Jamel Dean.
Right after saying that Murray had the record for most completions as a rookie without an interception. Basically, right after they said that, he throws the pick.
Right after they said that, and it was like you can do it. He was bound to throw one at some point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of things on that play that took place that I'm sure we're going to talk about. But the referees didn't do us any favors in this game. First of all, they were not fair about how they looked at pass interference, and they still haven't been fair all year with any team. But we just happen to be the first team that flags. No flags on the field. It just happens to get. Let's just look at it again and call it pass interference on the other end at the end of the game. But the Cardinals get hosed on the referees. I think Trent Sherfield got his feet tangled up and Kyler hung it up there. But I don't think he should have thrown that ball to begin with. But you know how the game ended after that.
Second down and 10. Winston had the receiver get tangled up back there, and no penalty flag anywhere.
After review, there's defensive pass interference on the play in the end zone. The ball is placed first and goal at the 1 yard line.
That's hard to relive.
And they're going to run it again. And finding the Pager is Peyton Barber.
So the cannons go off at Raymond J. Stadium. They scored a touchdown. Go ahead. Who I didn't have no doubt they were going to do that. After what our defense looked like all game long, there was no way we were stopping them. But my hope was there's still a 2-minute drive to go, under a minute something to go. Kyler has the ball in his hands. Let's move down and get that field goal and tie it up. But for some reason, clock management got in the way, and we didn't execute down the stretch. And it cost us the game. And then, of course, the last play of the game.
A timeout, and we'll see. Murray forced out of the pocket and just throws it up in the air on the final play of the game. No penalty flag, and that is that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have ended this long losing streak, including a 5-game losing streak here at home, rallying in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter to win it 30-27. Should there have been a flag there on the last?
You're damn right it should have been a flag there on the last play.
I got to say, the Mike Evans one that was booth reviewed, that ball was 3 yards over his catch radius. That's hard. That's hard.
That's really hard. And not only that, that was incidental contact.
Yeah.
Because the Thompson was one of the Thompson brothers, right?
Yeah.
Tripped over. I think he tripped over Mike's foot and just kind of fell and just rolled. It just happened to roll over the guy's leg. It wasn't like he was trying to jump the ball and jump this guy because he was going to get a break on the ball or something. He fell down. When feet tangled up, that's incidental contact.
Yeah, which is why they didn't call it on Trent.
Exactly. That's my point. Is why wasn't it the exact same call for Trent Sherfield down there where the feet just got tangled up and he fell down.
The
exact same call. The exact same call.
Pass interference drama of this year reminds me a lot of the previous year's drama of what is a catch, what isn't a catch, where refs every game now are overthinking things and getting too analytical into it and thinking, I don't know, and then throw something or figure it out on the fly. And so now you're getting way more inconsistent calls than you were even before replay was available.
Right, and it's starting to get frustrating because what they're essentially saying on that play was that play was equivalent to the playoff game with the Saints and Rams, and that is far from the truth.
Yeah,
that is far from the truth. When you don't see a flag on the field at all, and you just get the booth say, "Let's go look at that," you're putting that play in the same category as that Saints game, and that is nowhere near that game.
Where a player literally targeted a receiver
exactly
as he's
he
going
targeted
dribble
to stop him from making a play, and literally basically tackled him so he wouldn't catch the ball.
Versus tripping into a guy.
It's like really inconsistent. And what's so really frustrating to go along with that is that they don't give you the explanation. Cliff is sitting there like, what's going on? They just end the game. I mean, they just let it keep going at the end of the game where when Sherfield got tripped, and they don't even give him the chance. They don't look at it. They don't even give it a chance at all at the end of the game when Farrah Cooper that had the play at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're not giving him any love at all on any of these calls or any of what's going down there in the booth review.
Now, this rings a lot to me. We always try to find parallels between sports. This rings a lot to me as the troubles that the Suns are going to be having, where they can't get calls because they're potentially a young and up-and-coming team, whereas the Cardinals are starting to hit some strides, starting to make some improvements, and glass is always half full because I'm going to talk about Jameis in a second, but this team, as they get more experience, as they earn some more wins, they're going to get some more calls. It's just how it goes.
Let me ask you this: how much of that is like the NFL unwritten rules? I don't know if they have that. You want to call it that, where coaches have to make their way up the coaching ranks by earning their way up the coaching ranks, and Cliff Kingsbury coming in here jumping the ranks. How much of that do you think has got the NFL saying we're going to show this guy that he just can't come in this league and just do what he think he wants to do? How much do you think of that is part of this whole thing?
There's got to be a little bit of it. I don't know that it's more of a. It sounds more with the way you're saying. It sounds more of like a vendetta that they have against him.
Yeah, I think even some of the coaches in some of these games don't literally come out and admit it, but in a subtle type way they come out and say it.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Sean Payton rode up against the fence last time, and he just kind of dialed back what he was saying, but he was pretty much saying the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, and every guy they want to pay their dues and go through all the assistant ranks and stuff, and sometimes an organization makes the choice, which is their choice.
What's their choice?
To pick somebody that doesn't have that experience. So yeah, I mean, the league's gonna make you earn it the hard way sometimes, and in a season where we're not pushing for the playoffs, this isn't like a lose your mind type of game. Although it was a winnable game and a game you should have had. This is a game where
it's going to be hard to swallow.
It is what it is.
The glass is always full because it's maybe half full of water and still full of air.
The game is still full of air and sometimes half full of water or whatever it is that James is trying to say.
He was trying to give us there. But man, that was a tough game to swallow with the referees and all that stuff and everything that's going on in that game. But we had plenty of opportunities to win that game. And when you look back on the game, you can look at just certain players that that they're supposed to be your superstars that make plays for you. And yet we got two of our so-called superstars that are pretty much killing us, not playing up to superstar status. I mean, Patrick Peterson, when he does something good, he has no problem running into the camera saying, "Look at me, world."
Right.
No problem. I mean, he's got his hands wide open like, "Yep, did you see that play I just made? I mean, just wow, look at me. I am so good." But yet, when it's reversed, it's like, okay, where's that play consistently now? What's going on with this guy? I mean, he played an okay game, but it seems like I never want to say a man quit, but it just seems like when the injury started to go down, he just started to make it look like, okay, y'all see me hurt. Look at me, y'all. I'm hurt. Look at y'all. Look at me, y'all. I'm laying down on the ground. I threw my helmet. I am really hurt. It's like he's trying to make this statement that he's really hurt.
Yeah.
It just felt that way to me. I'm like, get up off the freaking field and keep fighting, dude. I know that dang calf ain't that damn bad. Keep fighting. I mean, that's just how I saw it.
Well,
but
I mean, that's a good. You want to get into it now? Who has to go?
Who has to go, man?
Okay, so let's paint the picture, because if you're gonna go, this is what's gonna happen to you.
First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
So who's got to be the one that's 35, divorced, down by the river in a van?
Oh man,
who's it gonna be?
Well, at this point, from what I'm looking at, next year it's going to be 2 guys leaving, or possibly 3.
Okay,
all of them.
You got anybody that would go right now?
Or like right now
like
at this
right
minute?
now.
Oh man, it can't be David because of the money. It can't be Pat because of the position and the money. It would have to be Vance Joseph.
Vance Joseph has to go right now.
Exactly.
Right now. Look at the film.
Right now.
Look at the film, Cliff, and get it done right now.
Oh man, how much of it is actually Vance Joseph, and how much of it is personnel that he just does not have talent on this defense?
Well, I would argue that he needs to change his scheme to fit the personnel that he has.
I agree.
That's
with that.
his
100%.
job, right?
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Time brings you the players. You put the players in positions to succeed. That's how that works.
Did you see any blitzes in that game from him? Or at least effective blitzes?
I didn't see any cover 0 type blitzes, if that's what you're talking about, which we definitely saw on the other side of the ball, which had Kyler running for his life.
Yeah, the ones that force a quarterback to throw you the ball, like Jameis Winston, if you give him a good blitz where he can't pick up what you're doing. I didn't see none of those exotic blitzes from this guy.
No.
Is he not a blitzing defensive coordinator?
Not in that sense, whereas more so he, I think, plans the matchups that are going to allow Chandler and Terrell, which shout out to Terrell, he had a pretty good game, to be able to be successful. I don't think he's going to be dialing up, 7-man blitzes and just letting everybody go. It's more along the lines of, switch here and go here, and on this situation you go here. But
right.
Yeah, it's not what we're accustomed to as Cardinal fans the last couple of years, having 3 coordinators in a row that knew how to blitz and blitz heavy.
Right. Okay, so let's assess real quick here, because we got about a little time here to go. Let's assess Kyler Murray's performance in this game, and then we'll come back to David Johnson. But Kyler Murray's performance, it's like a tale of 2 different games a lot of the times, where he starts a little rocky, settles himself down, and then starts to look like the playmaker that we're looking, to see throughout the year.
Right.
And that's how this game started. He started with the ball sailing up high, missed 2 good. I mean, you get that touchdown coming out of the gate. Farrell Cooper was wide open in that end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, he just flat out missed him. And then, of course, you can get the first down if you don't throw it too high to Keyshawn Johnson. He was just really high with the ball. But yet, he's the leader of this team. You can tell. I mean, I love watching him on the field, because you can see him orchestrating this offense, putting people in spots, making sure everything is what's going on during the game. But then it also seems that when it's crunch time, he can kind of lose his head a little bit. And that's where you're supposed to have a sound coach standing on the sideline that can ease that part of the game. And I don't think Cliff does enough talking to him and setting him up of what's going on in the game. Because when you take that the ending of that game where the clock management was so horrible.
But you lost about a minute of time.
I mean, a whole minute doing what? Trying to set up for a fourth down play? It's like, you got to have some urgency right there, first of all. And you got to know the clock. And you don't have time to go back there and run around.
Yeah. You had a timeout on the board.
Right. You have to have a play call. And how on earth are you in a 2-minute drill with a timeout to win a game, and you end the game with a timeout? How the hell do you do that?
I have no idea. I have no answer for that.
It's like, that's really bad clock management. Cliff Kingsbury has to have a play design deep in the middle of the field. You got a timeout in your pocket. Get the play deep to Larry in the middle of the field. You got a timeout to stop the clock. Deep play to get you close to a field goal. What are we doing? I don't know what we were doing at the end of that game. I think we were in shell shock after he threw the pick. Have you noticed that we just went downhill after that?
Yeah.
Nobody was thinking straight. Everybody was thinking out of line, and it just went downhill after that.
Could be.
So that's the rookie coach and the rookie quarterback, at its finest right there. One thing I noticed about that, though, I was glad that both of them tried to own up to it at the end. One said it was his fault, the other said it was his fault. So that's a good relationship right there. That these guys would say, "I'm gonna go ahead and take the blame."
Yeah, and it's good to see. I mean, we saw some of it from Patrick Peterson last week, but it didn't do much good for how he performed this week. But with your QB and your coach, it's definitely good to have that taking ownership for what's going on. And
right,
at least there wasn't any of this.
Shouldn't have thrown it up. I mean, knowing we got a field goal to make the game 7 points and make them go score. Honestly, I mean, when I threw it, there was no way in hell I thought he was going to pick the ball off. So it is unfortunate.
It was a bad play call. Yeah, I thought we could get him on the edge, get an easy completion, stay in bounds. He just tried to make a play. It was a bad design on the play, and I'll take that one.
Who do you put that on?
I mean, the player made the play. Player made the play. There was other reads there that you could have had. I got to say it's on Kyler. I got to say it.
I got to agree with that, too. You know why? You don't put the ball in harm's way in that situation right there.
Yeah.
You just can't. I mean, like he just said himself, I got to know that we got a field goal in our back pocket. You have to play it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing a good job at throwing it away earlier, but now when the pressure ramps up, he loses his head a little bit.
And granted, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look back at it, but I'm pretty sure that the ball was already gone by the time Sherfield tripped.
So in the air, just floating in the air.
Yeah, and so now you're like, I really wish I could have had that back, because he was open had he not tripped. But
that's true. But it's still a play. You just don't just loft the ball up in the air with defenders around the ball.
Certainly not that high. No, the ball was just floating around.
I mean, the dude was tripping and falling and stumbling and still end up with the ball in his hands. So you should not throw that ball, especially running backwards on your back foot and just throw it up.
Yeah, that was bad form right there.
You can't do that. You cannot take that opportunity to win the game off the board like that.
Mm-mm.
So I agree with Jay right here. That's the quarterback. That has to be on the quarterback. And even if he gets to a point where he is getting smarter to know how to change plays, which he should start learning and picking up on that. Right. He could have changed that play to a running play right then and there, because you still have that field goal in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
The worst case scenario, they go down, which they probably would have done on this defense, and tied the game up.
Jay just said it's like Ed Smith running a 40-yard dash. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. I was reading what Jay said. Oh, no. That's too much.
That's messed up. Oh, like on Waterboy. When he started out, he was running the 40-yard dash. Cut his ass.
Hey, so far with about 10 minutes left in the show, on our poll, we have 50-50 between Peterson and Vance Joseph, who has to go. No one's voting for David Johnson.
Nobody for David Johnson?
Nobody's voting for David.
All right, well, hold on a minute.
Here's to those who just...
Something wrong with his head. That must mean can't get right. Can't get right. That's the kid's name? Yep. No, can't get right. Can't get right. Listen to you, baby. She can't get right. Can't get right.
Can't get right.
If there is anybody that has the name Can't Get Right, it has to be David Johnson. It has to be David Johnson. I mean, he just can't get right, period.
Yeah. There's so much that you can unpack in this, right? I mean, there's the injury from 2 years ago. There's not running through a hole anymore. There's dancing around in the gap. I mean, what is going on?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things out there that everybody's starting to allude to what his problem is. We've heard everything from he got paid, I mean, we even heard some things today that he's like, his wife is probably stopping him from. I mean, those are just outrageous things you don't want to go deep into and get into. But we had a specialist come on this show a couple of weeks ago, and I told everybody last year that he wasn't the same David Johnson and took a lot of heat for it.
You did.
Now everybody is on board and see what's going on. I'm trying to let everybody know it's a physical thing with David Johnson. There is something lacking in David Johnson physically. And when we had our girl Melissa, who's on the watch right now, shout out to Melissa. She came on and gave some pretty good insight about nutrients and things of that nature. When you go vegan, you got to have meat and nutrients, those type of things, to keep building strength and muscles. You lose all those muscles strength when you don't have those nutrients from meat. This dude has been vegan since he had the 2016 season. He has not been the same since. Do you remember when Patrick Peterson was lacking some things when he was found out he was a diabetic? He just sluggish. He was sluggish.
Yep.
We got a sluggish David Johnson, people. I'm telling you, it's something that's going on physically, or that he's lacking something. He doesn't have burst. He doesn't have strength to hold on to the ball. People are snatching it right out of his freaking hands. It's sad to look at. So,
I mean, in the 2015 year, we had a lot of players do it because there was a big documentary that came out, and then, a year passed and players are realizing, I got to go back. I can't catch up with all this protein that I'm missing out. And it's not necessarily just meat in a sense, but there's certain things that they were missing that they couldn't get fast enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do get like what Jay's saying that running backs take a lot of beating, but he hasn't taken a beating. This dude's been hurt. Have you noticed he's been hurt just all the time? Little chronic things, chronic injuries. And those are the type of things when your body's lacking something, you are accessible to chronic injury all the time. And his wrist gets hit, his ankle gets hit, and he's hurt. It's like this dude it's just like he's diminishing right before our eyes. So, I don't know. What do you do with his contract next year? What do you do with his contract and Patrick Peterson's contract next year? Do you go ahead and start to eat some of this money?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Patrick Peterson out of the two is the only one that has any trade value. It's not going to be much, but he's got some. David Johnson's going to become the highest paid third-string running back of all time.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true.
I mean, you have to bring Drake back at this time.
Oh, you have to bring him back. Yeah, for sure. But think about this, too. When it comes to running backs, system is usually what makes the running back. David doesn't fit in Cliff Kingsbury's system. That's obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep alluding to that one play where Kyler snaps the ball and fakes like he's throwing it and gives that quick draw. The quick draw does not require you to dance. The quick draw requires you to hit the freaking hole and go hard. Drake does that. So now the system for David Johnson is not he's trying to be that Le'Veon Bell type of Pittsburgh system type of guy when he gets the ball. So what system do you think could fit him going forward next year?
It's hard to tell. A lot of guys are going to this system now.
Jason, fitted some of his G's.
I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you on that one. There's not a lot of systems out there right now that are built for David Johnson's anymore. It just isn't. They're looking for more kind of quick bursts. People are burning through running backs left and right.
Right.
Maybe taking two in the draft because you burn through them so fast. It's like a drift driver going through tires.
So you don't think that coach that was on the other opposite sideline would have to have him on his team? Like he's got every other dang ex-Cardinal.
Is the mental error board still there? Because I don't think you'd want David there if the mental error board's still there.
Blow.
It's true, though. There's been rumor. It's definitely rumor.
Back in the time like DJ did. He called me that, and he got all ticked off about calling him knee deep, and he got all bent out of shape about all of that mess. But
there's rumors back and forth about Carson used to have to tell David the play in the huddle.
What?
It's a rumor. I don't have any facts behind it. I've heard it around here and there, but I'm just saying, I don't know that Bruce would ask him to come back. I don't know about that.
I like the Colts, like Jay's saying. I like that Colts and Chargers. That could be a good fit for him. Well, yeah, because I don't think Melvin Gordon's going to be a Charger next year. So why not?
So you got to settle for David Johnson?
I mean, I'm just saying, a change of scenery, a system that can fit his suit his needs running wise. He can still be a threat in the passing game, but now that we have Drake that can catch out of the backfield now, we got Kirk that has stepped up that's catching the ball like crazy, like he's doing right now, and we got Andy Isabella starting to come on. Yep. So now you really don't need that running back to be that guy out of the backfield.
But here's the thing, not at that price tag.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I don't foresee them keep. And now remember when we got Drake, we asked the question, how do you make a deal like that? This is why you make a deal like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was exactly why they made that deal, because Cliff Kingsbury, this has been brewing in him for a long time. You can tell he was ticked off. He was really mad.
Oh yeah.
This has been brewing in him. You don't just bench a dude for fumbling the ball that's got the caliber of a David Johnson. You do not just bench a dude like that.
No.
Something's been brewing. Okay, I've had enough of this dude. Pull him out. It was that type of thing. It wasn't like he just fumbled and I'm going to bench him because he fumbled one time in a game. It wasn't like that.
You know what David needs?
Uh-oh.
What are you? Mobile, agile, hostile. What is pain? French bread.
He needs some French bread. What is pain? French bread. Come on. Remember the Titans. Come on. You know that movie. Come on.
Oh, you crazy, dude.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Oh, man. Okay, so going into our next game, and you look down our schedule, where do you see another win coming from?
Oh, man, another win.
At our schedule now. And this was the part of the schedule I predicted we would go 0-6. And that was beginning of the year. So now that we're there, and I look at the progress where we are now, I'm like, I don't see another win for us, man.
For a Monday Night Football update right now, the Seahawks are up by 3 in the fourth. The Cardinals made the Niners look a little vulnerable.
Okay, maybe that's what Seattle's taking a page out of our book. Maybe. What are they doing? I haven't watched that game tonight.
It's just a beatdown back and forth. They're in the 20s, mid-20s, but San Fran looks a little vulnerable right now. If Arizona can surprise, that could be a win. The Browns is a win for sure. The Rams.
So you're saying we can get a win in San Francisco? Come on now.
No, I'm saying maybe you can surprise them. I don't know if you can surprise them twice.
Let me just stop you right there. It takes a sound, disciplined team to go on the road to beat a good team. You think we go on the road and lose to bad teams? How are we going to beat a good team?
Hey, if the Colts and the Titans can do it, can't the Cardinals do it?
Those are good teams, though. Average teams, at least.
Average teams. We're trying to be average, so we could possibly do it.
I don't think we
got
would
say,
there yet.
If not the Niners as a surprise, a sleeper pick, I would say at home against the Rams. I think you could beat the Rams right now. There's a lot of blood in that water. They're bleeding out in the water. The Sharks are coming. I would say against the Rams. And then you have a shot against the Steelers. You have a shot against the Browns. You could go three wins right there. You could.
Yeah, but you got to flip the script. Those teams are going, at least we'll get a good win with this team coming in. At least we got a Cardinals on our schedule. We get back on track. Those teams are already looking at it like, we can kill this team. This team, they got a trash defense.
That's to their discredit, though. If you start to overlook a team, that's when you lose. You know that.
That's true. That can happen. But when you got a trash defense like we got, I don't see.
I'm not expecting Vance Joseph to be the coach for any of those games.
I don't see any team coming in being afraid of this defense.
That's fair.
But they can be afraid of their offense. But the defense, okay, they'll give us some opportunities on defense. So we can just score with these guys. At the end of the game, they'll make the mistake to give us the game. That's how all these teams are looking at us right now. How do you fix that? How do you fix that situation?
You fire Vance Joseph. I feel like I've said this a bunch already today. I got to put out one more thing before we head out of here because it is Veterans Day. We didn't really do a lot of social media stuff. Larry Fitzgerald, all over the world and right next door, men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces have sacrificially given of themselves to provide freedom and safety for all of us. Join me in honoring our veterans.
Was that to give up to the veterans out there? I could barely hear your mics going in and out.
Yeah, it's for the veterans. Larry Fitzgerald on Twitter.
Absolutely, man. It takes a special person to be veteran and fighting the wars and fight for your country and keep us all safe. Is a special person to do that type of thing. Shout out to all the veterans out there. And y'all want to keep up with us? Y'all want to keep up with us? You'll go ahead and go to www.ksrnaz.com. And, of course, all of our social media outlets on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube page, all with the same tab, Casual Sports, K-A-Z-U-A-L with the Z at the end of the word sports. I'm Earl Burnett. The man in the other square again is Sean McConnell. We'll catch y'all again next week, Bird Gang. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.